All the things that the Prius doesn't have, the Dodge has, and all the things that the Dodge doesn't have, the Prius has. So if someone could just like take both of those cars, mix them up, and make a new car, it would be perfect. It would cover everything that a car would need to be the perfect car camper. Hi, I'm Trista. I've been drawn to the natural world for as long as I can remember, and staying true to my Sagittarius nature, I've been traveling overseas or adventuring in one of my camper cars whenever possible for the last 5 years. You could say I'm on a mission to live a simple, happy life in the great outdoors. Oh, and this is Thanos, and Gaia, and Evie, my 3 cats, and this is Jeremy, my partner in everything. I'm sure you'll see them around. Hit subscribe and come along for the journey. Good morning, loves. Today I wanted to make a little video about my Dodge Grand Caravan camper compared to my Prius C camper, what I like, what I don't like about both of them, which one I prefer, all of that stuff, so that you guys can have a good little comparison between the two of them. Before we start, I'm going to remind you once again, because I know 90% of you are apparently not subscribed, please make sure to hit the subscribe button below if you want to make sure to catch any other videos I make about adventuring and about car camping and all that stuff. So just make sure you do that before we continue the video. So you may recall that last summer I made 2 videos about my Prius C camper, explaining the things I love about having the car as a car camper and the things that I hate. And basically, put simply, all the things that the Prius doesn't have, the Dodge has, and all the things that the Dodge doesn't have, the Prius has. So if someone could just like take both of those cars, mix them up, and make a new car, it would be perfect. It would cover everything that a car would need to be the perfect car camper. So I thought it would be really funny to actually go back and see what I said about the Prius so that I can just confirm that it's still the same thing, and also so that I can compare it very easily to the Dodge Grand Caravan. So lo and behold, let's do that.
When I'm driving, it's somewhere between 3.5 usually and 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers.
Okay, so the first thing that I pointed out was the gas mileage in the Prius. It's amazing. For this trip in particular, I was at 3.7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is so good, especially now that gas prices are skyrocketing. So that is definitely a big plus. If you compare that to the Dodge Grand Caravan, the Dodge takes 17 to, I would even say 20 liters of gas per 100 kilometers. 4 liters for the Prius and 17 for 8, 12, 16. It's still 4 times the amount of gas for the Dodge, which is insane. So that is definitely something to keep in mind when you're comparing the two.
Is that there's not a lot of space inside, which can seem like a downside to it, but because of that, you're not really spending any time in.
Okay, so the second thing that I pointed out was that there is not a lot of space in the Toyota, which sounds like a downside, and it is. And I think that with the Dodge Grand Caravan, it's the perfect amount of space. The reason why I said it as a positive in the Prius is because it forces you to get out more. And the reason why I think the Dodge Grand Caravan is even better is because there's still not a lot of space. Like, you can't stand up in it. You just can't do that much in the van. So you're still forced to get out, but you do have a bit more room. Like, you have more room for bags. You have more room for like your equipment. You have more room to sleep. Like, you can fully have your legs spread out. So the Dodge Grand Caravan in terms of space is like the perfect recipe. Like, it's the perfect recipe for comfort and still getting outdoors and doing this affordably in a car camper instead of doing it like in a Sprinter, as I said before. For that little aspect, the Dodge definitely wins.
The thing that I really like is that I couldn't afford a car that I use for work because I am a nanny and I have to drive kids around. So I couldn't afford both a car and a van. I don't even think I could afford just a van. So what I like about this is that it doubles as kind of both.
Okay, so I was also talking about how the Prius can double as a normal work car and also a camper car. As for the Dodge Grand Caravan, it's great because it can do those both things, and we're also making money off of it. So we are renting our Dodge Grand Caravan, so it actually has like 3 purposes. Yeah, I mean, I could also rent out the Prius, so I guess it's kind of a tie in that category.
That is so reliable.
This is the part that makes the Prius just like that much better. I don't want to say better because I have a special place for the Dodge in my heart, but We have had so many problems already since we got the Dodge, and we've put so much money into fixing it that it just reminds me how much I love Toyota and I love the Prius because it's so freaking reliable. Like, I have had the Prius for 2 years and I haven't put a single dollar into doing repairs on it. And so, yeah, I just think that nothing can beat the reliability that Toyota can give you. I also talk about how Toyota is really, really cheap to fix, which is true. As in terms of the Dodge Grand Caravan, I heard originally that it wasn't expensive to get them fixed, that it was super, super affordable. But then someone told me that in their mechanic school, the teacher said that the second someone brings you a Dodge Grand Caravan to your garage, you are in for the big bucks. And so now I'm not so sure if Dodge Grand Caravans are actually as cheap as I thought that they were to repair. So a little downside there for the Dodge again.
There's no point buying an older car and constantly repairing it if you can just buy like a newer car. Pro tip.
Very funny, because I said there's no point buying an old car that you're going to constantly be repairing because it'll cost you the same as a newer car. I wish that Trista was here to tell me that today, because for some reason I bought an old car again. Whatever, we live and we learn, don't we? All right, now let's see what I said in terms of the reasons why I don't like the Prius. This will probably give us a few more brownie points for the Dodge.
So that it's very small.
First thing, obviously, that I pointed out about the Prius is that it's very small. And if you're tall, you cannot fit in it. Jeremy has slept in it for a few nights in a row with me when we were doing our Gaspésie trip. And it is very, very small. Even just sleeping like width-wise for 2 people, it's really, really hard. And yeah, if you're over 5'5", it's really like you just don't fit. If you're about 5'5", then you fit, but your legs are kind of always bent, so it can get sometimes uncomfortable, but hardly, honestly, for somebody my height. But yeah, if you're taller, like, you're just not gonna fit. So in that sense, it's not very practical as a car camper. So the Dodge definitely takes the cake, is that the saying? For space, as I've said before.
The fact that it's so small, once again, but not in the way that you think.
Okay, so then I talk about how the Prius is kind of not very intimidating, and how you feel like if people are walking by you, they can like look in to your car. And this is once again where the Dodge is much better, because our Dodge has completely tinted windows all around except for the front. On top of that, yes, in the Prius and in this car, we put the insulation, like the Reflectix and everything, which really does work, but it's just the feeling, that someone's like right there with you. So that added tint kind of makes you feel a little bit safer. Plus, I don't know, it's just bigger, and I feel like still the windows are higher. Actually, they are higher. So you feel like a little safer somehow in the van. Also, just the fact that you can walk straight from the back to the front, like zero problem. It's not like hard to get up and just get to the front seat. Whereas the Prius is a little bit more of a struggle. That makes me feel a little bit safer because I can like just get there fast and get out if I have to.
You're stuck in the car.
This goes for both cars. If it rains, you're stuck in the car, and that's just it, and there's nothing to do. On the plus side, like I said, once again, the Dodge has more room, so you can kind of read more comfortably. You can kind of like go on your iPad more comfortably, maybe watch a movie more comfortably. But yeah, you're still stuck in a really small vehicle.
But in the back, you can't sit, so like...
This is a big plus. In the Dodge, you can actually sit up because those seats go down. You're literally on the floor of the Dodge, whereas in the Prius, you're on the seats because it's just the seats that kind of fold, and then you're on top of the seats. So you have like you have about this much space, maybe a bit more from where your bed is to the roof. The Dodge, you have like a full me to my bum, like my head to my bum, so plus more, so I can properly sit and feel comfortable. And I feel like that's a huge plus, especially at nighttime. If you want to like sit up and do things like read or journal, it's just a lot more convenient than in the Prius, for sure.
Normally this is cruise control on most cars.
Okay, cruise control. I thought with the Prius that not having cruise control was going to be the end of me. But in the end, the Dodge actually has cruise control, and I never use it. So I don't think it makes that much of a difference anymore. But I think for some people it would. And that's the big difference. The Dodge has cruise control and the Prius doesn't.
The Prius is very slow. So like getting onto the highway, people do get...
I also talk about how the Prius is very slow to accelerate and get onto the highway. which is very true, but you get used to it. And Jeremy hates driving the Prius for that reason specifically. The Dodge does accelerate faster. Personally, I don't really care. I just don't. It doesn't bother me. The last part was just about how I didn't feel accepted in like the van life community. And that's okay because I officially decided to just call it car camping because that's what it is. I wasn't even aware of the term car camping until maybe like this winter. And so yeah, both of them are car camping because a Prius is a car and a Dodge is a car. So that's it. I just wanted to go over both of the cars, some of the pros and the cons of both of them. I can't really tell you actually which one I prefer. I think the highlights of everything is that the Toyota is super reliable and it is very, very cheap on gas. And those are such big pros that it's almost like really easy to overlook the negatives. The Dodge is such a big car. It's so beautiful. Like I love, especially ours, it's orange. I really love the look of it. So it's really big, it's spacious, and it feels like an adventure car. So I don't know. I can't really pick between the two. I love them equally. I love them both. I hope that helped you somewhat if you're thinking about getting a Prius or a Dodge. And if not, I hope that inspired you to maybe go out and adventure more. And on that note, I will see you in my next videos where I will be doing a solo car camping trip by myself. Hence solo. Thank you guys so much for being here. See you then. Mwah. Bye.